What if the most powerful empire of the 19th century was not a country but a corporation? It had its own army, its own laws, and its own flag. It could start wars, topple kingdoms, and addict millions to drugs, all in the name of shareholder profit. This isn't a conspiracy theory. This is the story of the British East India Company. This video examines the complex and often dark history of colonial commerce and its lasting impacts. Our goal is to understand how corporate power can reshape the world. It began in 1600 with the Royal Charter. The British East India Company was given a monopoly on trade with the East. Its goal was simple: profit. They started by trading English wool and silver for Indian cotton, silk, and spices. But to protect its profits, the company needed security. It raised its own private army. What started as guards for warehouses evolved into a formidable military force, complete with European officers and trained Indian soldiers, known as sepoys. The turning point came in 1757 at the Battle of Plassey. Through bribery and betrayal, Robert Clive's small company army defeated the massive force of the Nawab of Bengal. This wasn't just a military victory, it was a corporate takeover. The East India Company became the tax collector and ruler of Bengal, one of the richest regions in the world. Facing a problem, the Chinese were only selling tea for silver, draining British reserves. The company engineered a deadly solution. They would pay for Chinese tea not with silver, but with a drug, opium. The system was brutally efficient. The company grew opium in India, auctioned it to British smugglers, who then illegally sold it in China. The Chinese silver paid for the opium, then flowed back to the company to buy more tea for Britain. It was a perfect, vicious circle of profit. The human cost was catastrophic. Addiction ravaged millions in China. When the Chinese government finally tried to stop this illegal trade, they confronted a shocking reality. They weren't just fighting smugglers. They were fighting the armed might of the British Empire, which went to war to protect the company's most profitable product. The company's relentless expansion and cultural insensitivity finally sparked a fire. In 1857, Indian sepoys in the company's army rose up in a massive rebellion. The trigger was a rumor about rifle cartridges, but the cause was deep-seated resentment against the company's rule. The Indian Rebellion of 1857 was brutally suppressed. But the revelation was clear. A corporation could no longer be trusted to govern an empire. The British government had lost control of its proxy. In 1858, the British Crown stepped in. The East India Company was dissolved and its territories were taken over by the British government, beginning the period of direct colonial rule known as the British Raj. The corporation that conquered India was no more. The East India Company is gone, but its legacy is a blueprint. It demonstrated that a corporation could wield power rivaling a state, blurring the lines between commerce and conquest. It raises a question that still echoes today. In a globalized world, who holds the real power? Nations or the corporations that operate within and between them? What modern parallels do you see? Share your thoughts below. For more untold stories of power and history, subscribe.